Hello and welcome to the Misled Youth podcast. We are youth. We have been misled by several outside factors. I'm
Mainly
Alex.
The Guardian.
Yes,
And I'm Jack.
That's true. I'm Alex, he's Jack, and we're doing a podcast. Why?
Because we can.
Because we can, yeah, and we want to.
Basically,
and we have a lot of conversations.
We're two idiots with a microphone who are not doing massively complicated degrees.
Yep, we can just spend our free time staring at a laptop and a microphone.
Wonderful, and maybe people will listen to it. They won't.
Probably not, no.
Anyway, what can you expect from our wonderful little podcast, Alex?
Probably a lot of rants about things that not many people will care about.
Yeah, namely politics. I think this episode is near enough all political in some way.
Well, yeah, pretty much all of them will be, because we're two politics students, and
we do have our other things, though.
yeah, we both study other things as well. I do languages, he does, acting things.
I do drama, theatre and performance is the correct title for my degree there.
Well, yes, well, I do politics and Spanish studies with a minor in linguistics, but that's not particularly important, is it?
No. But no, we can do linguistics things.
Linguistics things are fun. They're fun to explain because you get to make weird sounds like...
I'm not even sure that caught that. Just go right up to them and give them a nice linguistic sound. Oh, nice. I like it.
Yes, that is a non-pulmonic bilabial ejective.
Hashtag linguistics facts. Now then.
Probably got that wrong. Anyway.
Yeah, if our comment section was at all existent, you'd have been corrected, but we don't have one because nobody listens to this, because this is the first episode. It doesn't actually exist yet.
That's true.
Anyway, that out the way, let's start with some various topics. So we're going to start with darts walk-on girls.
Yes, I've heard about this.
You have a specific interest in darts, being that you play darts.
I do play darts, it's very cathartic. I like to throw pointy things at a board and imagine it's my enemies. I don't particularly have enemies because I'm not an emperor.
I kind of imagine your dartboard as being just various politicians.
I should try that someday.
You should definitely try that.
When I get bored enough, I will go and print off a bunch of faces of politicians that I don't like.
Theresa May on the bullseye.
She's too easy a target. She'd have to be like the single one.
Oh dear. Just make sure your aims are strong and stable. Anyway.
Right, yeah. Okay.
Strong and stable jokes out the way. Darts, walk-on girls.
Walk-on girls, yes. For a number of years now, when there is a major darts competition on the telly, you will see some fat 50-somethings guy from Rushden in Essex or wherever.
Or Stoke-on-Trent.
Hashtag Phil Taylor.
Oh, not my dad.
Not your dad, but could be.
Same surname.
Yeah, so they will always have this guy with two gorgeous models next to him, usually in quite skimpy dresses, and then there'll be a couple of bodyguards to accompany him from a bit of the crowd up to the stage, where he will then throw some darts at a board for about 2 hours. Now, the reason why they're getting rid of them is because it's 2018.
Well, I think it had a lot to do with sponsors, didn't it?
Probably, yeah.
It had a lot to do with the sponsors basically saying, look, we can't.
Yeah, no, we can't support this anymore because it's quite clearly
sexist. Was it actually the broadcasters? It could well have been Sky, actually, that said something. Let's just
because the company owned by Rupert Murdoch is definitely going to care about
no, it was the broadcasters, according to BBC News. So I'm assuming that is Sky. Yeah, fair enough.
Well done, Sky. I didn't realise.
No. So
manage that.
Wonderful. So walk-on girls, I admittedly don't watch a lot of darts. I watch the World Championships occasionally. So is this just a PDC thing?
Yeah, it's just a PDC thing.
So PDC for
Lakeside. Right, yeah. There's two competing darts organisations. PDC is the Professional Darts Corporation. It's the best one and has been since the 90s. It was formed after people in the other darts organisation, the British Darts Organisation, or BDO, got fed up with the management and wanted more money and TV rights, so they formed their own company. And to this day, the BDO is crap and the PDC is better. and the PDC is all showy and flashy, and the BDO still happens every year at a country club in Surrey.
So the Walk on Girls is kind of just a PDC thing.
It's just a PDC thing because Lakeside Country Club is not big enough for an actual walk-on.
Fair enough.
I just sort of walk in from the side to some worse music than
because all the darts I've watched on television has been PDC because
it's quite a lot easier to find PDC darts because it's, I mean, unless you sort of run into BDO ranking events on Eurosport.
Yeah, I don't spend a lot of time watching Eurosport.
No, I don't spend a lot of time watching TV. If I'm watching TV and I'm watching sports on TV, it's going to be on Sky Sports.
Yeah, or BT or something like that if we're watching the football. But
possibly.
In any case, so Darts Walk on Girls, people have jumped to their defence, in inverted commas.
Defence of the concept rather than defence of the people.
Notably, Raymond van Barneveld.
Has he?
Yes, he's...
For God's sake.
Yeah. So he's kind of tweeted, I'll really miss the girls, they're a part of darts tradition. I see you have certain reservations about the idea of darts tradition.
If you have a concept that you want to defend, tradition is the worst possible argument to defend it with, because tradition just means we do it, so we're going to keep doing it, without any questioning of whether you should be doing it. That annoys me. There have been a couple of defences of it, neither of which I find particularly convincing. One of them is the tradition argument we've just talked about. If you are trying to defend something, tradition is not an argument. No.
And the other, I suppose, is the idea that it keeps them in a job.
Yeah, but the idea that it keeps them in a job, even though they're models and
they already have jobs outside of...
they can find other jobs.
Like, it's not even they can find other jobs. They are already in other jobs. Nobody applies to be a darts walk-on girl. You're a model, and then you, I assume, do darts walk-oning.
Yeah, it's just a little bit on the side thing. It's not something that they do all the time.
I'm sure it's paid very well.
Oh yeah, I'm sure they get paid very well for walking up and down a catwalk for a little bit. But then again, that's what their job is already.
Yes. Oh, we've found a thing. What have we found?
We've found a slippery slope argument.
Oh, a slippery slope argument. I like slippery slope arguments.
Yes, this is from Fight Club. Probably not the film.
No.
But it says, what do we lose next? Russ Bray's absurdly extravagant 180 call? Snake bites, flamboyant dress sense, Wayne Mardle's screams of, it simply has to go. No, nobody's trying to get rid of those things because they don't hurt the sport. There is no positive that I can see from having walk-on girls. It's just a bit of eye candy.
Other than, I suppose,
unnecessary.
It attracts that sort of 18 to 30 male market, but they're already
in
darts.
the room.
Yeah,
for the drink.
Yeah, if you watch darts on telly, the people that are there
like darts on telly.
And also the people that are there, that's already their market. They don't need to increase that market share. They have that now.
Yeah, darts isn't something that you can just get people to watch because of at the start of the game, and then at no point at any other time in the game there will be a rather attractive woman stood on screen.
Because I've watched darts. Some of those games are very long.
Yeah, there are a lot of long games.
So, apologies for the interruption there. That was a Google Assistant.
And it probably won't get into the podcast.
No, Google Assistant will definitely not get into the podcast.
Right. So I think we've made our...
point. Darts games are very long,
clear.
And people are already watching them. Now then, Banksy are to be removed by a Tory councillor in Hull.
This is your news story.
This is very much my news story, because obviously I'm a drama student, I am an art student. This is very much in my, I suppose, area of expertise. But basically, Tory councillor in Hull has called for a piece of work believed to be by Banksy. There's no confirmation at the time of recording that it was by Banksy.
Is there ever any confirmation that something is by Banksy? Oh, is that the piece of work?
obviously people are listening to this, they can't see it. I've got the piece of work up now. When I upload it to YouTube, I'll put the picture on. So if you're watching this on YouTube currently, you're looking at that.
That's not a bad piece of art.
That is that, yeah. So basically, what the Tory councillor, Mr. Abbott, I believe, John Abbott. There we are.
Yeah.
John Abbott. He said it didn't compare with quote unquote real art.
He's an art snob.
Yeah, he's an art snob. Now, I don't see how you can not think that Banksy is art or real art.
Banksy is one of the most famous artists in the world. I don't care if you don't know what he looks like or what his actual name is.
No.
Banksy is a famous artist, and campaigning to get his work removed from your crap bridge really that really makes me think that you think that Hull is a more impressive city than it actually is. You should be honoured to have Banksy in your city.
There is I now know about this bridge in Hull. I couldn't care less about this bridge in Hull, other than it now has a piece of Banksy artwork in it. But that
has doubled the value of that bridge.
Yes, it's that thing of real art. Like, art, for me at least, I don't know how you feel or how anybody who may or may not be listening feels, but for me the purpose of art is determined by the artist. Now, a lot of artists, Banksy included, make art for social change. Now, does that not scream social change to you? Whereas some of this real art that John Abbott talks about,
it's just painting,
which are perfectly valid.
And yes,
again,
perfectly valid forms of art. You
yeah.
can paint something and hang it in a gallery if you want to. It's just going to be much less interesting than something that's done on a drawbridge in Hull.
Yeah, like,
because what Banksy does is he adds intrigue to a particularly bland part of the world. That's what he does.
But again, those real art paintings that Abbott talks about are perfectly valid, because the purpose of the art is determined by the artist, and if an artist just wants to make a nice painting, that's fine and that's perfectly valid. But I don't think it's up to anybody to determine what real art is and what art should be allowed or otherwise. I mean, he said that the work should be photographed and kept because Banksy is not without talent. I think I've never heard a better example of sort of damning with fake praise there. Banksy is certainly not without talent. Banksy has more talent in his little toe than you do in your entire body, Mr. Abbott. Yes, there we are. I think
Banksy is a very good painter and a very witty man. I assume he's a man. Have you confirmed who he is?
As far as I'm aware, no. I can't say I follow Banksy as...
I think we should probably Google that, so I'm not misgendering Banksy accidentally.
We can refer to Banksy as Banksy.
Yes, Banksy's pronouns are Banksy and Banksy's.
Yes. So, in short, Banksy is wonderful, and John Abbott has no say in what is or isn't art, because he is a councillor, not an artist.
Yeah, what I don't understand is, why are Conservatives from East Yorkshire really cringy and bad at art?
I don't care how good or...
Do you remember, in the general election campaign back in June, the Conservative parliamentary candidate for East Yorkshire?
No.
Because the story's just...
Who are they and what did they do?
This is a man called Greg Knight. He is a quintessential Tory. He's old, fat, and not particularly interesting generally, but he made the best campaign video and also the worst campaign video.
Oh, I did see this! Yeah.
It was a cringy song. It was a song that probably could have been done on GarageBand in less than 20 seconds.
Yes, I do remember seeing that now.
I'm sure we'll provide a link.
There'll be a link in the description and various, I suppose, screenshots if they at all illustrate the idea of what we're talking about. But if you didn't see it, watch it. It's wonderful.
Oh God, he's in MP4. He's in MP4. Oh God. Even more niche subject. Greg Knight is in MP4.
What is MP4?
MP4 is
oh
a
dear
Lord, rock band made up entirely of MPs.
I didn't know this was a thing.
They have been going for 14 years, and they have actual songs.
So they do.
Oh, good Lord!
Are they all Tory MPs?
Nope. SNP, Labour, Tory, and other Labour.
Yeah, there we are. Wow.
David Morris, Conservative for Morecambe and Loomsdale.
Oh my God, is he? Oh dear Lord, David. Good God, David. That's wonderful. I didn't know this was a thing.
No, it's depressing. They're not very good.
I mean, I'm sure they're not. I've never listened to them, but that's quite wonderful, actually. So I've discovered a new thing.
Yeah, I've done.
Which is MP4. So expect a review of their various musical masterpieces in future times. Now then, UKIP.
UKIP indeed.
Now,
UKIP has been on the decline for quite a while.
Yeah, you have stronger opinions on UKIP than I do, I feel.
Well, it's not that I have strong opinions on the original point of UKIP, which is to get out of the European Union. There are, of course, pros and cons to that.
Yeah, we're not getting into it.
I'm not going to do the debate now because I don't have a coherent position on it. But UKIP in general is not just about leaving the EU. Because UKIP is full of horrible people. I mean, there aren't many people in UKIP, but those that are there are generally bad people, in my view.
I mean, we're talking about elected officials here, not.
I'm talking, yeah, generally elected officials, usually elected into positions that most people would deem very unimportant. Because they tend to be quite racist.
Yeah, we're not at all talking about voters or members here. Like,
no, I'm not talking about voters or members. I know quite a few UKIP voters because I'm from St Helens, which is a rather large UKIP area.
Yeah, but they had something to say to those people, which is fine. We're talking purely about the people higher up within the party here, not.
Yes, the people higher up in the party, specifically their current, depending on when you listen to this, leader's girlfriend.
Why? What happened there?
You don't know about Henry Bottle's girlfriend? It's been quite a big scandal.
I'm not aware. I suppose I don't follow UKIP as closely as I should.
Well, UKIP has been through quite a few leaders recently because they because Nigel Farage is the only popular person within UKIP, and I use popular there in inverted commas.
Well, popular within the party, I suppose.
Yes, he's pretty much the only unifying factor that UKIP has, apart from leaving the EU.
Yes.
Which again is basically just his MO.
That's what you get when you make a single issue party.
Yep. So he now does not want to be the leader of UKIP and has not wanted to be for quite a long time. So they've been through a few different leaders.
Yeah,
who found it very difficult to lead UKIP.
Yeah, because you have to be the next Nigel Farage.
Yeah, and they don't have another Nigel Farage. The closest they've got is probably Paul Nuttall, but
for what
he's not a particularly charismatic man.
For the opinions I had on Farage, he was very good at what he did.
Yeah, he was a brilliant
and he galvanised a lot of people.
He was very good at being a very bad person.
They don't have anyone else like that.
No, they tried Paul Nuttall, and Paul Nuttall was probably the closest thing they've come to an actually good leader afterwards.
Yeah, Paul Nuttall.
He was kind of hampered by the fact that they'd already achieved what they wanted to achieve by the time that he was leader.
It's kind of the way I compare it is when you get 100% completion on a video game.
Yeah.
And they throw you into this sort of sandbox mode, and it's like, well, what the hell do I do now? This is pointless.
I've finished the main story. Now I'm just collecting flags.
Yeah, like.
Wow, cool. Yeah, so they've been through a few leaders, and their current leader is Henry Bolton.
At time of recording.
At the time of recording.
That might even change before this goes out.
That's true. He's been under quite a lot of pressure recently because he won the leadership of UKIP with around 3,500 votes. And to put this into context, he once stood for Parliament as a Lib Dem. which is weird enough as it is.
Yeah.
And he lost that election, but got 7,000 votes in one parliamentary constituency.
Yeah, that kind of puts the state.
That puts the state of UKIP into a bit of context, because the previous leadership election, the winner had something like 18,000 votes. So they've divided that by 6.
Yeah. So that's not necessarily members. That's people who have actually been bothered to vote in the leadership election.
Yes, there may well have been very low turnout among UKIP members for that leadership election, but I'm not sure. But anyway,
I'm fairly confident the membership number has dropped in a similar.
Oh yeah, a lot of UKIP members have either gone back to Labour or the Tories, depending on where they were from beforehand.
Yeah, you saw it because I'm from Blackpool, and you saw it in my constituency, Blackpool North and Cleveland's, was the UKIP vote plummeted.
Yeah, in the 2017 election, UKIP's vote went from about 4 million to, I think, less than 1 million.
Yeah, but you saw it plummet in the direction of Chris Webb, the Labour candidate. Unfortunately, not enough to win in the seat. But if you actually break it down, you see the amount UKIP lost and the Labour gain, it's a few did go to the Tories.
Yeah, a few, like Mansfield in the place that doesn't exist.
But in the place that doesn't exist, for reference, is the Midlands, because the Midlands doesn't exist, because North or South.
We don't believe it exists. There is a North-South line. It changes
side.
Depending on my mood, but you either are in the North or the South.
If you're from the Midlands, you're not.
If you're from the Midlands, pick a side, because your home doesn't exist. Anyway,
sorry.
Do apologise for ruining your entire world.
There'll be a North-South episode.
We will do a North-South divide bit at some point, because it's a very interesting topic and it pretty much defines my entire ideology.
Yeah, you are the Northern Nicola Sturgeon.
I am pretty much, not literally, but.
Northern Independence, that'd be...
Northern Independence, we need a flag.
We need a flag. We
shall design a flag at some point, but what was I talking about?
Hold on.
Yes, Mansfield.
Mansfield
went
there we
to
are.
the Conservatives because...
Jesus, that was a tangent.
The UKIP vote in that former mining town, well, I think it was surrounded by mining towns.
Yes. I don't think Mansfield itself was a mining town.
No, but it was surrounded by them, and it was a Labour seat, had been for probably about a century, but the UKIP vote skyrocketed there over the past couple of elections, and then went entirely to the Tories.
Yeah, they went Tory via UKIP.
Yeah, UKIP has been, if anything, a vehicle for the redistribution of voters between Labour and the Conservatives.
Now, normally I like redistribution.
Yeah, redistribution of voters is normally quite a good thing.
Or wealth,
but redistribution of wealth. Let's just move on from the communism for a little bit. A few seats in the 2017 general election did go Labour to Tory.
Labour to UKIP to Tory.
Yes,
there we are.
But a lot of them just went Labour and Tory to UKIP and then back to Labour and the Tories. Because of that, Paul Nuttall resigned and they got Henry Bolton. Henry Bolton is an entirely unremarkable man, other than the fact that he is in his late 40s and has a girlfriend who is around 25. Henry Bolton's girlfriend is a woman called Jo Marnie. She, as it turns out, is a horrific racist. She's had some quite disagreeable tweets released in which she's used some racial slurs.
Right.
And because of that...
Do I need the censor bleep button just...
No, I'm not going to say them.
Right.
I refuse to repeat what she's said.
Right, so it's
quite bad.
Right.
It's quite bad. You could probably find it on Google.
Yeah, I mean...
I'm not going to encourage that.
I'm not going to link it, but if you want it, Google is your friend.
Yes, Google is quite open about these things.
Yeah.
So, because of that, Henry Bolton stood by his girlfriend.
Oh dear.
Of course he did. Because, quite frankly, she's out of his league. He's a balding old man, she's quite attractive.
Fair. I mean, maybe he has a wonderful personality.
He's the leader of UKIP. He's the leader of UKIP, and before that he was a Lib Dem.
I have no issue with the Lib Dems.
I have a lot of issues with the Lib Dems.
You do?
We're university students, of course we have an issue with the Lib Dems.
Well, yeah, there is that.
That's a topic for another time.
Yeah,
So, The UKIP National Executive Committee had a vote of no confidence in Henry Bolton.
Is that not just one person?
I can't remember how many exactly, but it's not a very big number.
I just imagine sort of one guy just said, I am the committee.
Star Wars references. Nice.
You get them now, because
I can understand those now. Well, I've seen 2/3 of Star Wars.
You've seen the okay 2/3 of Star Wars. Star Wars.
Well, I haven't seen the last 3, so I don't know if they're okay.
Exactly. You have. Well, I mean, no one's seen them.
Anyway,
Star Wars rants.
So,
that's
Henry Bolton has decided to do a Jeremy Corbyn and stay on despite this ruling of no confidence.
I'm not sure how successful he'll be there in comparison
Neither
to
am I.
Corbyn.
Jeremy Corbyn has done very well since his no confidence vote.
Because apparently he had the support of most of the members of the Labour Party.
Yes, which we found out when they decided to have a leadership contest against him.
Owen Smith.
And he won by a landslide. Owen Smith gradually faded into obscurity during that campaign.
Yeah.
Nobody knew who he was by the end of it.
No, he's back in the shadow cabinet.
Nobody knew who he was by the start of it. But yeah, a guy from Wales who is a member of Parliament for Wales is the Shadow Northern Ireland Secretary.
Great.
I don't know how much I think he was on the team that worked out the Good Friday Agreement, so he probably has some experience of being there.
Fair enough.
Yeah, go ahead, Owen. Do whatever you want. I'm going to say that we check back through the footage of that because I'm not sure they referred to him as Owen Jones by accident.
I don't think we did. We get our left wing Owens confused sometimes.
Left wing.
I mean,
left wing.
Okay, we get our Labour Party Owens occasionally mixed up.
Michael is the best one, obviously.
If you win the most seats in a general election, you're probably going to be Prime Minister. That's a Michael Owen commentary reference. That is very specific.
That's niche.
That is
niche. Michael Owen politics jokes. Anyway, so, onto the story that I was actually going to talk about.
Yes.
Before you didn't know who Joe Marnie was.
Yes.
Thurrock is a particularly good area for UKIP. There is a lot of support for UKIP in Thurrock. And all 17 of UKIP's councillors on Thurrock Council have resigned from the party and formed their own Thurrock Independence group.
Thurrock Independence? Independence from what?
Independent of UKIP.
Right.
Which means that although UKIP used to have thousands of councillors, they now have about 240.
Wow.
Yeah. There are about, for reference, 20,000 councillors in the UK on the level that I'm talking about.
Yes.
Not counting local
councillors
like Lancaster City Council. They don't count because election maps doesn't map them.
Sorry, guys.
And Britain Elects doesn't count them. So I'm not going to either.
Sorry, Lancaster City Council.
Sorry, Lancaster City Council. I'm sure you do great work. I'm pretty sure I've campaigned for you in the past, but
yeah, same. Hi.
Oh well, never mind.
So they've lost.
Yes, let's open the article just so that we.
Yeah, they have lost 17 councillors. We will open up
lost all 17 of their councillors.
Oh, all right. So they only had 17 councillors in.
They had 17 councillors,
and they've all gone.
They were the largest group in Thurrock, as far as I know.
So they had control of.
I think they had control of Thurrock Council.
Thurrock Council, right?
Now the Conservatives do, I think, unless it's just still them, the Thurrock Independents.
Well, I assume it would be then, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would be.
If they had control, they're still them and they're still on the council.
Yes.
But we do not grant them rank of master.
Another Star Wars joke.
Yeah, we're getting a few
Thurrock
here.
Independence. Nice logo.
That's possibly a worse logo than ours.
Graham Snell, not to be confused with Gareth Snell, the leader of the Thurrock Independence.
Niche jokes.
Yes, Gareth Snell, for future reference, is the Labour MP for Stoke-on-Trent Central.
One of the Stoke-on-Trent
Central, because they lost Stoke-on-Trent South. The same sort of thing as Mansfield.
Mansfield.
It's not just one man in a field; it's several men in a field.
Mansfield. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Gareth Snell is very pro-Europe. Graham Snell is apparently not.
Well, I mean,
Yes, the resignation's come in a week when UKIP's leader Henry Bolton insisted he would not resign despite a no-confidence vote from UKIP's National Executive Committee.
So, I can't find whether they actually had control of the council.
Well, we can look up Thurrock Council on Wikipedia, because Wikipedia has a lot of information about councils.
Yeah.
Thurrock
Council election, probably that one.
2016. Yeah, I think that's the most recent one.
Ah,
As you can see from that map there. Yeah,
So,
UKIP did have 17 members. Conservatives had also 17 councillors. There was 1 independent and 14 Labour councillors.
So basically, it's joint control. Nobody has a majority there.
No overall control there. I
So
so UKIP were involved in the government of it.
I would imagine they would be.
Yes. I think you can probably find the information somewhere in that article.
Probably somewhere. Anyway, in any case, they had
UKIP had 17 councillors.
Yes.
Now they have no councillors, and I find that hilarious.
I find
because
that wonderful.
The collapse of UKIP is something that I take quite a lot of enjoyment from.
Yes.
Because UKIP is a party that I find abhorrent.
I think the nail in the coffin for UKIP,
The final nail, yeah.
the final nail in the coffin for UKIP, was the referendum.
Yeah, because they won, and now they don't have a reason to exist.
Yeah.
Like, as soon as a party who has one function in this world gets that thing done, what purpose do they now have?
No. And I think a lot of voters saw that as well, which is...
Yeah, a lot of voters said, well, what do we want to vote for you for now? Well, we're going to see Brexit through. No, you're not. The Conservatives are going to do that because they're the ones in government.
Well, I mean, whoever's in government is going to see it through because
Yes.
Labour have said they'll do it as well.
UKIP are not in government and
have no chance of being in government.
Specifically because of first past the post, which meant that they got 4 million votes in 2015 and 1 parliamentary
That's
seat.
another rant.
That is another rant. I might do it now. I'm not sure.
Do it now. Go.
Alright, first past the post is the system that we use for parliamentary elections in the UK. Basically, to win an election in a particular constituency, the UK has 650 of them.
Currently, at time of recording.
At the time of recording, that may change. It changes periodically, depending on which government is in power. You don't have to get a majority. You don't have to get an absolute majority. You simply have to get one more than the second place candidate.
For the individual seats, yeah.
For each individual seat. So, because it's not an election... We don't have national elections.
No, it's essentially 650
local elections.
Yeah.
So in my particular constituency of St Helens North, the MP is a Labour MP. His name is Conor McGinn. He's fine, I suppose. I don't really have very strong opinions on him. But he is the MP there because he got about 30,000 votes and the Tory candidate got about 15,000 votes.
Fair.
So he got quite a large majority. And he got that large majority because I voted for him. It was solely me.
I mean, it wasn't.
It wasn't. But there are a lot
Which
of
is
problems.
the whole point.
There are a lot of problems with FBTP. For example, if you are a smaller party and you have a widespread support across the country,
like
not a lot of it,
like UKIP did in 2015.
like UKIP specifically, you will do quite well in each local election. But if you don't win any of them, you can get quite a lot of votes.
You get nothing.
And no representation in Parliament.
UKIP came third?
UKIP were the third largest party in England.
In terms of just purely on votes.
Yeah. Labour and the Tories usually get around somewhere between 9 and 15 million votes, depending on how well they're doing.
Yeah, ebbs and flows,
It ebbs and
1983.
flows, yeah. Let's not talk about 1983.
Yeah.
That's a rant for an entirely different time. Back to 2015, which is the election that best illustrates
what's wrong with first past the post.
bad way that FBTP works. You can either do really badly under it, like UKIP, or you can exploit it to all hell, like the SNP.
Yeah.
Because the SNP got about a quarter of the votes that UKIP got, and they got 56 out of the 59 seats of Scotland.
Yeah. I did, actually, because I did A-level politics, I did, for every election, a comparison pie chart between what the votes were and what the seats were. And, like, because the thing is, in 1945, first past the post was fine.
Yeah, because there were two parties.
There were
other smaller parties. I think the Communists got 3 seats in that election.
Good for them, I suppose. I'm not a communist, but
Nah.
okay. But it worked because there were 2 parties that had a lot of support. The rest didn't. It made sense for one of those 2 parties to have essentially absolute control.
Yeah, and it made sense for the other one to get just enough seats to be a proper
to be in opposition. Yeah.
Now that doesn't work because
in
2015
that didn't work.
2017 is a different story.
Yeah.
But in 2015 it didn't work because
UKIP was a thing.
Because there were so many parties. There were like 7 or 8 major parties.
Yeah.
That someone would consider voting for, depending on where they lived, because some parties in the UK are regional.
And Plaid Cymru, SNP.
Plaid Cymru is the party of Wales. They got
they did
3
okay,
or 4 seats out of Wales' 50 or so.
That's
40 or so.
That's not abysmal.
Not bad
for a non-major.
The SNP.
The SNP,
Scottish
however,
National Party is the party government in Scotland because they have their own little mini parliament in there.
Oh. That's really demeaning to Scotland.
Oh.
That little knot. I love Scotland. Scotland's wonderful.
Little Nicola, get a pat on your head. Nicola Sturgeon, leader of the SNP.
I like Nicola Sturgeon. You have other opinions on Nicola Sturgeon.
I don't really have opinions on Nicola Sturgeon.
No,
she's
fair.
fine at what she does.
Yeah.
Nicola Sturgeon, leader of the SNP. They basically, if you have split opposition votes, so if people aren't sure who to vote for to get you out, you're going to win by default.
We'll link to CGP Grey's.
Yes, CGP Grey has fantastic videos on politics.
The Animal Kingdom ones.
The Animal Kingdom ones, yeah.
They're good, I like them.
And the 2015 election results.
Oh yeah, he did an entire video on that,
He did an entire video, which has pretty much shaped my opinion on this topic, so you're going to hear a lot of the same stuff there as you do here.
Yeah, but I think he explains it in a much better way than we could.
Yeah,
because
he explains it in a scripted way. We're just ranting.
We are having a complete rant.
Yeah.
We have a small Google Doc in front of us. We didn't even plan to talk.
It's less than half a page.
Yeah, we didn't even plan to talk about First Past the Post, but here we are having a diversion from Thurrock 17 UKIP councillors all resigned from party to have Alex having a.
Yeah, I don't know how we managed to get here.
I think you got a good few minutes there. In conclusion, walk on girls.
I don't care about your arguments against getting rid of walk-on girls. They're not a particularly important part of darts, and I just want to watch some people throw sticks at a board.
Banksy art.
Banksy is more important than you, John Abbott. Go and yourself.
You, John Abbott. UKIP. That's enough. First past the post.
It's a stupid system. Can we get rid of it, please?
Yes. So,
in future, I will suggest alternatives.
Yes, that'll be a thing. That'll be. We'll put that in next.
We'll put that in
next week.
Time. Yeah.
Speaking of next week, so this will be
probably about a weekly thing.
Yeah. This
depending on essays.
This specific episode that you're listening to now
is a pilot.
Is a pilot, and will be going up on either Monday or
Tuesday, maybe
between Monday and Wednesday.
Probably.
The reason for that is we're working on a logo.
Well, we've paid someone in India to work on a logo because Fiverr is incredible.
Yes, and because we don't have the skills.
Yes, because neither of us are actual art students, even though the arts in general.
Yeah,
but not art specifically.
No, we're both heavily dyspraxic, so
yeah, neither of us can draw.
We don't have the necessary skills, so we're waiting on that. So this will go up as soon as that is a thing. But in future, our plan is to record episodes every Saturday and release them every Sunday at some point.
Probably.
Once I've finished removing the that you don't hear.
Yeah.
So
heavily edited.
I don't think it'll be too heavily edited.
It depends on how ranty we are.
I think we should leave the rants in.
I mean, the rants are the good bits.
Yeah, exactly.
Those are the bits where
I'm aiming for half an hour. If this is about half an hour long,
that should be fine. It might go over that.
I've done my job
in the future,
about right.
It might get way longer. It depends on how.
Yeah.
Depends on how rambly we are.
In any case, you have been listening to the Misled Youth podcast. My name is Jack.
And my name is Alex.
And we will see you next week.
No, we won't see you.
You'll hear us next week.